They have waited a long time for this.
Not as long as me.
Let's be real here. Foundation Season 3 left us all with our jaws on the floor. The genetic dynasty has crumbled, the Mule revealed herself in the most shocking twist, the second Foundation came into full focus, and Hari Seldon's master plan, well, it's kinda back on track. But as satisfying as all of that was, the finale also raised a ton of questions. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. So, now that Apple TV Plus has officially renewed the show for Season 4, let's talk about where the story could go next. And trust me, with Isaac Asimov's books as source material and the wild creative liberties the show has already taken, the possibilities are endless.
I'm the Mule.
The Mule. Dead, defeated, or still out there? First, we need to talk about the Mule. Or should I say, Bayta the Mule. That twist was insane. Instead of following the original books where the Mule is revealed as Magnifico Giganticus all along, the show went with Bayta as the secret antagonist. Totally caught a lot of fans off guard, and honestly, it worked. But here's the thing. Season 3 ended with Bayta collapsing in telepathic defeat after her showdown with Gale Dornick in the Second Foundation. But is she actually dead, or just neutralized? In Asimov's novels, the Mule doesn't die immediately after being stopped. He's not even dethroned. Instead, he gets mentally disarmed by the Second Foundation, losing his destructive edge and ruling more like a gentle, almost tragic figure before dying young because of his mutation. So what does that mean for Season 4? Well, if the show sticks closer to the books from here on out, Bayta could still be alive. Maybe she's stripped of her power, maybe she becomes a different kind of ruler, or maybe her defeat was just temporary and she comes back in an even scarier form. I wouldn't rule out another twist here. Plus, did anyone else notice how Gale ran away after that fight, literally jumping out of a window to escape? That doesn't scream happy ending to me. There's still unfinished business with the Mule, and I think Season 4 has to give us closure on her arc, whether that's redemption, resurrection, or total annihilation.
Stare at black walls made of my own remains and wander it like a ghost.
Hostile aircraft in
The Second Foundation's bigger role. Now, let's talk about the Second Foundation. Season 3 gave us their origin story in a big way, with Gale and Hari training Mentalics on Ignis to become this secretive, almost godlike order. They were the big weapon against the Mule. But if you've read the Asimov books, you know that's only part of their story. In the novels, the Second Foundation isn't just about defeating one supervillain. Their entire purpose is to covertly oversee and guide the First Foundation to make sure Hari Seldon plan actually works. They're like the hidden hand behind the entire future of humanity. The show hinted at this when Hari showed Gale those prime radiant projections for life after the Mule, but honestly, the Second Foundation's full role has been downplayed so far. Up until now, they've been painted more like a resistance force than the secret architects of history. Season 4 could finally shift that spotlight. Imagine the Second Foundation stepping out of the shadows, not just as fighters, but as manipulators of the grand design. And with Gale as one of their leaders, we might see her struggle with the moral side of guiding humanity in secret. Because let's face it, what's creepier than a group of mind readers deciding what's best for the galaxy without anyone knowing?
She could have been free! She could have set us free!
The Empire's long-awaited collapse. Okay, I have to ask, is the Galactic Empire ever actually gonna fall in this show? In the books, by the time the Mule shows up, the Empire is basically rubble. Trantor is stripped for parts, its massive cityscape turned back into farmland, and Imperial power is fractured into dust. But in the Apple TV Plus version, the Empire's been hanging on way longer. Trantor is still alive and kicking. That said, Season 3's finale might have finally set the stage for its collapse. Let's recap. Brother Dusk becomes Brother Darkness, freaks out over his own mortality, kills Brother Day, blows up the other clones, and destroys Demerzel's body. That leaves us with just one young Brother Dawn on New Terminus and no functioning genetic dynasty. So what happens next? Without the Cleons to keep things together, the Empire is a house of cards waiting to tumble. The Mule already wrecked their fleet, their leaders are gone, and their big secret weapon, Demerzel, is out of the picture, at least for now. I think Season 4 is where we'll finally watch the Empire crumble for real. And honestly, I'm excited for it. The fall of the Empire isn't just background noise, it's the core of Harry Seldon's whole plan. Only when the old system dies can the foundations rise.
Carve them out of the sky with a black hole bomb.
New characters we need to see. Alright, let's talk about the future, literally. If Season 4 follows the books, it's time to bring in some new faces. The first is Golan Trevise. Now, on paper, he doesn't sound like a big deal. Just another Foundation councilman, right? Wrong. Trevise ends up being the guy in Asimov's later books. Why? Because he has this uncanny, almost supernatural intuition. Like, he just knows when something is right or wrong, and that sense shapes the fate of the entire galaxy. The last 2 novels basically revolve around him. So yeah, we need him, and we need him soon. The second is Stor Gendibal, a young leader from the Second Foundation. He's ambitious, restless, and gets pulled into events way bigger than himself. If the show brings him in, he could shake up the whole balance of power within the Second Foundation itself. And let's not forget about other potential characters like Yanov Pellerad, the old historian, and Bliss, his mentalic companion. They become really important later on, especially once Gaia comes into play. But for now, Trevise and Gendibal are the must-haves. Season 4 is the perfect time to introduce them.
Interesting. One of us is seeking a clasp, and from Trantor, no less.
The living planet Gaia. Speaking of Gaia, oh boy, this is where things get wild. If you thought the Second Foundation was powerful, wait until you meet Gaia. It's not just a group of mentalics, it's an entire planet that's alive with collective consciousness. The humans, the animals, the plants, everything is mentally linked into one big, harmonious mind. In the books, Gaia plays a massive role in humanity's future. It's the next level of evolution, a possible endpoint where everyone and everything becomes one connected entity. And it ties directly into the Mule's backstory, since in Asimov's version, the Mule actually comes from Gaia. Now, will the show stick to that? Hard to say. They've already remixed the Mule's origins, so maybe Gaia won't be exactly the same. But given how much emphasis the show has placed on mentalics, I think Gaia is inevitable. Season 4 might not fully explore it yet, but we could at least see the seeds planted. Imagine the reveal of an entire planet that thinks and feels as one being. That could completely reframe everything we know about the future of the galaxy. Demerzel, the robots, and the moon. Alright, time for one of the juiciest parts of the Season 3 finale. Demerzel. She was literally torn apart, but come on, we all know she's not gone. She's too important. In Asimov's books, Demerzel doesn't die. In fact, she becomes the ultimate connecting thread between the robots and the Foundations. And then there's the moon colony tease we got at the end of Season 3. That's a big deal, because in the novels, the moon becomes a key location where some of the biggest revelations of the saga take place. This is also where the robot side of Asimov's universe really kicks in. Remember, Foundation and the robot novels are connected. The moon is tied to Earth, to humanity's origins, and to secrets that could change everything. So, what does that mean for Season 4? Well, since the showrunners already teased the moon, I don't think they'll ignore it for long. Maybe we'll see Demerzel reborn there, setting up her role as the ultimate puppet master behind humanity's destiny. Or maybe they'll save the moon for the series finale. But honestly, given how fast this adaptation is moving, I wouldn't be surprised if Season 4 dives into it head first.
I'm in your airstream! I'm in the doors now!
A new creative direction. One last thing before we wrap up. Season 4 is going to look and feel a little different. Why? Because David S. Goyer, the showrunner for Seasons 1 through 3, is no longer attached. He was the guy driving most of the story, writing about 85% of Season 3 himself. But for Season 4, a new creative team is taking over. That means two things. On the one hand, the show could drift even further away from Asimov's books. On the other, we might see a bold new take on the story that surprises even die-hard fans. Either way, the foundation, pun intended, is set. The Mule, the Second Foundation, the fall of the Empire, new characters, Gaia, Demerzel, the Moon. Season 4 has more than enough material to work with.
How deep inside your mind must I go to rip it out?
Our nerdy thoughts. So, where do we go from here? If you ask me, Season 4 is shaping up to be the turning point of the entire series. The Empire finally collapses, the Mule's fate is sealed one way or another, the Second Foundation takes on its true role, and the seeds of Gaia and the robot connection are planted. The big question is whether the show will lean closer to Asimov's roadmap or keep remixing things for maximum shock value. Either way, one thing's for sure, the future of humanity in Foundation is about to get even stranger, even bigger, and even more unpredictable. So, buckle up. Season 4 is going to be a wild ride. And that's everything we know and all the crazy theories about where Foundation Season 4 could take us. What do you think? Will the Mule return? Will the Empire finally crumble? Or will Gaia make its grand entrance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite sci-fi shows.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.